Hi everyone, I'm Ken from Crypto Trading KS. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin currently trading at 43,940, up 3.81%. Ethereum 3034, up 3.77%. You'll notice the stable coins USDC, DAI, USDT, BUSD. They're going red. That means there's a flow from stable coins into the crypto market. My goal is to assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love, and also gain real wealth in the process. I've hidden knowledge gems throughout this video. Unless you watch to the end, you'll miss them. See how many you can find. In this episode, we're going to cover the topic, crypto breakout or fake out. To get an idea if it's a breakout or a fake out, we can check the market capitalization of Bitcoin and Ethereum, the two dominating forces in the crypto market. They realistically set the stage for everything that happens in crypto. If you want to get this chart, I've got a link to TradingView in the description of this video. You can use this formula to get it. Now, what is happening here? Let's zoom in there and look at that. We've got a resistance line drawn to these peaks. Price is starting to get above that particular resistance line. It's very early days, but there's been some good news in the market. Looking at the headlines from the Wall Street Journal, a bill averting government shutdown was signed into law 31 minutes ago. This is great news, but it's got a little footnote that might be kind of interesting to note. This is only to December 3rd. Literally, it's just kicked the can down the road, as some people in the community have said. I want to say a special thank you to Guy Ubino, who reached out and put this all on the radar. Thank you very much. Of course, we're always tracking these kind of things, but I always love to reach out and give people credit. I also want to express my gratitude and thanks to our beautiful community. When you send me sources, not tomato sauce or barbecue sauce, but sources from the news, they're really helpful. I find that I do spend a lot of time researching, and those sources that you send through to me, I just appreciate it so much. If you would like to direct message me, this is twitter.com/StanfieldCan. I've left the link in the description of this video. Please feel free to message me anytime. Now, if all of this was about the debt ceiling and the US government running out of money, we would have seen a very sharp spike just up like this. That is not happening. So what else could be going on inside the markets? We have a number of storm clouds on the immediate horizon. We've got the Evergrande debt default situation. This is weighing the markets down. We also have China's new crypto national security law that they've just put through. That's all about making crypto illegal. I know some people have said that crypto is not illegal in China. This is not conferred, or we don't have confirmation of that from the People's Bank of China. They've indeed said it is illegal. Just going directly to the People's Bank of China website, we can see this particular document. This document outlines that it is illegal for Chinese residents to have anything to do with crypto in any way, shape or form, even to the point of providing technical support. If we translate this document into English, what we actually can see here is there are many problems, but the most important thing is it's absolutely and utterly illegal for crypto to exist in China. The Chinese law is a lot more comprehensive than a lot of YouTubers and influencers, and indeed the media, are giving credit for. Cryptocurrency transactions are strictly prohibited and resolutely banned in accordance with the law. There's so much to this. I actually analyzed all this in a previous episode. When the new laws came out, I analyzed it immediately because I felt it was very important to understand. That's in episode 261. It's not a long video, but I think it's really important to have a look at the legal aspects. We've seen a bit of interesting things with Bitfinex and Tether. I'll just take you to that in a little while, but if China actually closes down Tether, which is Hong Kong based, this has been covered in previous videos, Tether would likely be depegged and potential confiscation can occur. Again, if you refer back to that episode, I outlined the case for that. I come from a finance law background, so I've got a lot of experience interpreting the law. China-based crypto exchanges are shutting down, and we've seen the second largest and fourth largest Ethereum mining pools also be banned and forced to shut down. On the 30th of September, the Spark pool, the second largest Ethereum mining pool, is to close, and when we look at B pool, the fourth largest Ethereum mining pool, that will be closed on October 15th. The Evergrande debt situation is really problematic. Basically, Evergrande can't afford to pay 1/3 of 1% of its total debt in US denominated currency. It's finding that it's got the capability to pay Chinese denominated debt, but not foreign denominated debt, which is quite a problem and will cause a big issue. What we're really seeing here is if Evergrande can't afford to pay such an absolutely minuscule amount of money, it means that it's really running on fumes. There's a lot of under the cover financial operations in China trying to prop up Evergrande, but it has the market spooked. And if we didn't have the Evergrande default situation occurring here, I believe the markets would rally. We have a window of 24 days until this default situation could impact global markets. We saw when Evergrande was in trouble, the stock markets and the crypto markets got hit significantly. There's also some other headwinds in terms of the Securities Exchange Commission, the SEC cracking down on alts, a potential DeFi shutdown. If alts are actually classified as securities, there's a long and expensive process, and they would have to pause trading, absolutely, because they would be rendered as illegal in that particular point. To become legal, they would have to go through the securities application process. That's not instantaneous to get. We've got crypto hostile legislation in the infrastructure bill. Tapering is on the agenda. I know many people say that tapering simply cannot occur, but don't have too great a level of certainty over anything in financial markets. Everybody says the debt ceiling must be raised. Of course, you would think that. It's only logical. And you would also think, well, they can't taper. They can never taper. They just have to keep on printing money. At some stage, things will change. It's the nature of markets. Certainty is always penalized. Also, in the stock markets, they're under resistance. It's really important to look at the stock markets, even though we're in crypto. Stock markets are just another investment vehicle format for investors. I use this analysis, even though the data is a bit outdated. I just want to show you quantifications. Crypto is pretty tiny. Stocks are significantly larger on a global basis, around 95 trillion at the end of 2020. The bond market is substantially larger than the stock market, coming in at 128 trillion. That was of August 2020. Of course, these markets are considerably larger now, but you get the idea. When there are problems in the world economy, in the financial system, money goes from stocks into bonds. That pushes bond prices up. And if there's any problems in the crypto market or the stock market, there is a flow, an institutional flow into bonds. It's really important to think about financial markets like an institution. Too many people think retail. Institutional is the way to go. If we look at the fear index in the crypto market, it's 27. Yesterday it was 20. The fear is decreasing, but let's look at the stock market. Having a look at the fear gauge in the stock market, and we understand why we do that, because the stock market is so much larger than crypto. What we can see is the fear is elevated. It's just managed to get over a level of resistance and actually turn it into support. The last time this happened was way back in January of 2020, and what followed was a basic stock market and crypto meltdown. We need to be aware how the VIX can interplay, or how stock market fear can interplay with the crypto market. So if we zoom in on the VIX, we can see that the VIX has remained elevated. This is a very important sign to understand in the markets. I've been in the markets for a very long time. When I see behavior like this, I need to pay a lot of attention, and that's why I share this information with you. We're going to have another early warning system video put out today, but I just want to give you an overview. What we're looking at here is the NASDAQ. That's the technology index in the US markets. This is a really important index. It's very strong. However, we can see a confirmed downtrend. This is the futures. The futures look very weak at the moment. We would expect, if the news was so good, we would get a spike up here. We're not getting that. What typically happens when we get a lot of bad news, the crypto markets and the stock markets tend to come back into alignment. For example, when the stock market sells off, crypto has been selling off already. It's really important to know that if things are a little bit dodgy, we need to take preventative action. And the preventative action is just to put money into the 10-5-10 fund. I think that what is likely to happen, we'll get a rejection down to these support levels. Everything hopefully will be prepared and repaired and will ascend up. Now, if this level doesn't hold and we start to come down, then we've got serious problems. We just have to be very responsive in the markets at the moment, keeping our eye on what is actually occurring. So the question is it a breakout or a fake out? Please let me know in the comments what you think. Is it a breakout? Do you think the crypto will break out, or do you think it's a fake out? Let's get a bit of a helicopter view for the top 16. What are we looking at here? Bitcoin is under resistance. That means it hasn't cleared this resistance. It's likely to hit resistance, bounce, potentially consolidate below, or go up to this level. We'll just keep our eyes on things. Ethereum is under resistance. We can see it's a lot weaker. Why? Because we know that those number 2 and number 4 mining pools have shut down, and in all probability there will be more. Cardano, we can see Cardano is quite weak in terms of the relative strength of Bitcoin and Ethereum. What about DOGE? DOGE is doing quite well. It's come up to that 394.2 level. Oh, sorry, Binance Coin. Now, Binance Coin, I'm ahead of myself. I'm always thinking one step ahead, and my mouth is one step behind. Binance Coin, what is going on here? This is a really cool thing to be aware of. Binance is the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange. Now, what does it mean if Binance Coin is going up? People are getting more confident in the crypto market, aren't they? And if they're getting more confident in the crypto market, Binance Coin is going up. This is a really hidden gem. Now, what about XRP? XRP is still below resistance, just making its way up. What about Doge? Still below resistance, making its way up. How about DOT? Still below resistance and making its way up. It's got a bit of headwind to get through there. Now, what about Sol? I personally like Sol. I look at this and I think, wow, Sol has cleared multiple resistance levels. This is really good. I've actually put something into Sol. Now, of course, this is a bit of a risky situation because the market is still unclear, but the way that we do things, we buy at layers. So I've got multiple layers down, and also the 10-5-10 fund in operation. The 10-5-10 fund, if you're new to the channel, of course, welcome. If you're new, 10-5-10 just goes like this. If you have something worth $10 and it goes to $5, you just lost 50% of the value. But if you actually bought it at $5 and it goes to $10, you just made 100%. That is what institutions do. Institutions push down price from 10 to 5, then they buy at 5 and push it back up to 10, making 100%. Institutions are very clever in terms of mathematics. It's just what they do. They understand the 10-5-10 rule. Please note that even though I'm going in here, I'm a trader, so my risk appetite is potentially higher than a lot of people's, but I see that the technicals are supporting a breakout. I'm not FOMOing in, I'm putting layer by levels down because we could get a long tail rejection and it could collapse as well. So please be aware of these things. Just go into anything with your eyes open. I think too many media outlets just promise the moon, and it's not like that. It's a risky, dicey game. You've got to control things, and always when you're setting your buy orders, set and forget. Basically put them in at different levels, of course depending on exchanges and fees, and just then walk away. Over the 30 plus years that I've been involved with financial markets, I've created literally thousands of rules. Rule 94 is really, really important. Let price come to you is all about relaxing and having a strategy for purchasing and of course for selling. But the purchasing one is the one that is really important. We're in a bull market and there's no real likelihood that that bull market is going to crunch unless China defaults on its debt and we see a systemic sell-off, and we'll see that in the charts. And if that case happens, we'll deal with it then. When we get the 10-5-10 fund together, we're getting ready to have spare cash to actually buy the falling knife. My goal is always to keep you as safe as possible. So if I go into something and I feel it would be a little risky for you, I will simply let you know. If things look to be confirmed, then we can have more confidence. And of course, I'll let you know then too. So looking through the top 8, we can see that the healthiest one is Solana. It's also got very good fundamentals. I saw as I was transferring some funds into Binance. I don't keep funds on Binance. I don't think that is a very wise idea at the moment. You're much better off transferring between exchanges or wallets or whatever you would like to do, but keeping funds on Binance I don't think is such a good idea at the moment. You can even see here Sol rallied up. If I just zoom in here, Sol rallied up and now has been squashed down. This is really cool stuff to be aware of. Price is negatively biased. Price is always moving in a wave. Long-time viewers will know their rules that we actually apply in our community. And if you look back on past episodes, you'll see literally hundreds of rules. Moving a little bit further, let's have a look at AVAX. What are we seeing here? AVAX was in an uptrend. It's been knocked out of that uptrend. It's weakening and it's also under resistance, but it's seeming to be repairing. Now, what about Luna? Luna is very spiky. You notice these spikes? Personally, I would not touch Luna unless it was severely down. Let's have a look at Uni. Okay, this is quite good. Uni is consolidating. This is very good. It's seeking to break out. What about Chainlink? It's very much underwater. ALGO, Evergrande, underwater. MATIC is starting to come to life. This is good. These are the things that you want to look for. If something is underwater, don't worry about just getting in there and trying to buy at the bottom. You might find the bottom is not the bottom. Maybe the bottom is the top in those sort of situations. When you actually look at this kind of price action and you see that things are gaining positive momentum, this is really good. Now I'll show you a little bit of a tip in here. If we look for positive air, now what is positive air, you say? Positive air is a major technique for detecting strength, and negative air is a major way for detecting weakness. You see this positive air here. What it means is price was going down. I'll just zoom out to just give you a better indication. Price was coming down, but now it's coming up. It's not in there. That is really positive air. What about here? Okay, that's positive as well. There's no price action below that support line. Increasing angular support lines are very, very good for spotting potential turnarounds and takeoff patterns. I know that that's one of the questions that was asked. I always try to cover off the questions that you ask across all the different platforms, so please keep them coming. I love helping you out. I think a good thing to understand about our community is all about the transfer of knowledge. Giving specific buy and sell orders is not the best. Giving you the tools to build is the best, because you can understand your own financial situation, tax, risk tolerance. There's so many things that are really important. If you get the capabilities to identify, you can go in then. I think that's much better. I know a lot of channels say buy here, sell here, this is the target, but realistically it's much more important if you develop the skills. Looking at LITECOIN, you remember this news spike. When you get a news spike, when price just literally takes off, goes straight up the wall, it's typically going to come straight back down the wall. This is why trading the news is the single fastest way to lose your money, and it happens in every market. Of course, I've been where you are if you're doing that. We all tend to start totally addicted to the news. What's the news? What's happening? Can I get an edge? Seriously, by the time it's hit the news, you have absolutely no edge. When we look at Cosmos, Atom, we can see a really spiky range of behavior. Spiky is not so good. When things are all over the place, it can be really hard to hammer out any particular pattern. If we look at it from this perspective, going from this low to this low and just drawing it up, you basically just disregarding this price action, we can see that it's under resistance, pretty much like Atom. Now, what are the attractive ones here from your perspective, and why? Let me know in the comments, please. I'd really love to know. And just purely on a technical basis, to get your skills up, there are actually there's a weighting probabilistically as to what the best one is, the second best, and the third best. For this particular one, you've got 8 in here to pick from. What do you think would be number 1, number 2, and number 3? That's really good for your learning. Don't forget, this is all about how do you make money. It's really profitable stuff. If you can look at charts, know which one is set to take off, and you have a high probabilistic degree of understanding that it will or it won't, that is really good. That will make life-changing wealth. We don't need to get into unnecessary risk. You can just look for really, really well set up cryptos. That's what we're about as a community. So going back to our key chart, we know price is making its way above this resistance, but if you have a look at that price action, it's not very healthy. It's hit the resistance above and bounced back. If price gets above this blue resistance line, line 3, that is really positive. And we also have to be aware of the Evergrande debt default possibility. However, in the short term, if we get a bounce in here and you want to take some profit or you want to get in, it could be a good idea, but always understand the risk. What we're looking at in 24 days on the 24th of October is something really, really important. It is very important. I can't stress it enough. The markets are reflecting it. If the stock markets collapse, stock investors will pull their money out of crypto. If they do that en masse, the crypto market will suffer. But however, if we get a degree of repair of this price action, that's really different. And we can track it. At the moment, we require patience. You require patience because you don't want to lose money. You can see that various trades can set themselves up very, very well. Patience is golden because it makes you gold. I'll go into things more deeply in upcoming episodes. I just wanted to give you a really quick look across the markets. So from your perspective, do you think we're going to have a crypto breakout or fake out? Please let me know in the comments. Okay, something just happened in the futures market. The futures on NASDAQ just collapsed. Just be really careful about what you do at the moment. Remember the sizing between the stock market and crypto market and the bond market. Now, a question you may have, can you see this and you put trades on Sol? Are you getting concerned? No, I'm getting happy. That's actually what I want. I want this spike down. I'm loving it. We're all about catching the falling knife. I know that there will be a level of support. Things don't just go straight down. They wobble around all over the place. Typically they'll wobble, come down, then go up, hit a resistance and resume downwards if they do. Sometimes, of course, you get climactic crashes that just fall through the floor. If you do, you do. That's just all part of the markets. Now, what happens if you have a 10-5-10 fund put aside? What should you potentially do? It always depends on your risk profile and risk preference. If you look at this and you say, well, I'm fairly confident that it will find support as it has done many previous times, and investment confidence will then increase, you could start to put your 10-5-10 fund to work. And you could put it down as low as you can go at different layers. Don't put it all the way down at the bottom particular price level. Just layer it in terms of specific structure. However, if you're a little bit more risk averse, you can just simply wait. There's no reason that you have to swing at every ball, as Warren Buffett talks about. You can swing when the ball is coming to you, like baseball, in the sweet spot. That's great, and you can leave all the rest. This will become clear. It's not clear except for the futures as indicating a downturn in the markets. But like all things, it depends on your risk profile. Personally, I'm loving it right now. I'm looking at this and saying, oh, this is nice, very yummy. But it's really important that I'm doing trading. If you're investing, you might just want to figure out what happens a little bit. But it's always a thing. If you're in for the long run, just set your orders at low levels and just wait for price to come to you. And if things go south, we'll deal with it then. Markets don't reward certainty. They reward the lack of certainty. I'd like to thank the very generous and kind community members who've reached out and bought me a coffee on buymeacoffee.com/cryptotradingks. I'd like to say thank you to Joe, Lecky, Vicente, Graham, Zena, Ruben, and Andre. You're so very kind. And to all the other people that remain anonymous, I just want to say thank you. It's really beautiful of you to do that. I so much appreciate your kindness and generosity. I just want to say thank you to Ruben. Of course, everyone is so beautiful. Ruben had a question. Would it be possible to do a video on how to spot breakout trades and patterns? That's what I sought to do in this video. I hope it helps a little bit, Ruben. I'll continue to bring out that kind of thinking in upcoming videos. Thanks so much, and thank you everyone. In the coming week, I will put out a new video just for the Coffee Club members as my way of saying thank you so much for your generosity. I think you'll find it very interesting. I hope you found the content useful. Please consider sharing and liking this video if you think it will help others. Thank you to our moderators for keeping our community safe from scammers. Please say hi and let me know where you're viewing from, and if you have any questions. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market, please subscribe to YouTube. I've left helpful links in the description of this video. Please remember, crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there. Take care and see you next time. Bye for now.